Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near you, your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
Hi, I'm Roger Stone, and you're watching His Glory TV.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to today's Take 5. We have Sam Anthony with us today. So we're going to bring Sam on and talk about news media and more. But before we do, we got a couple of quick announcements right off the top. First is Genesis Gold. Prepper bars, pure gold or silver right there. Maximum utility and peace of mind. Go to Genesis Gold Group and protect your financial future by mentioning His Glory. Visit hisglorygold.com to pick up free gold and a silver kit today. Again, you can buy just pieces of silver and gold right there. You don't have to do a minimum, but they do offer it for IRAs and 401ks as well. Silver is on its way up, so support MyPillow today. They got great offers all the time. Especially, he keeps on telling me about his sheets, and I love his new drink, Rev 7. All right, last luxury for cause. Donate your high-end items to support His Glory Ministries' mission to bring in 1 billion souls to Christ. We're accepting high-end bags, jewelry, clothing. If you feel the tug in your heart to donate, go to hisglory.me and donate. QR code to make a difference. Help us get to 1 billion souls for our King of Kings and Lord of Hosts. All right, that's all the announcements. It's time to bring on Sam Anthony. Sam, welcome to His Glory.
Dave, great to be here.
Well, where do we start? Why don't you give our audience a little bit of a background about yourself?
Sure. Again, my name's Sam Anthony. I run a hyper-local news platform called Your News. I've been doing this for a very long time. Back in the day, we believed that the legacy media, in particular newspapers, were going to have a limited lifespan due to the internet and the disruption, and how people consume information. So we set out to build a product that would replace the daily paper in every market. And never in a million years that I think we would witness what we did witness, Dave, which was our own media lying to the people, right? So, I never realized how important what I do was actually going to be, because when people understand what I do, it's a disruptor in the media industry, but ultimately will replace the mainstream media and become the next mainstream media.
Wow, that's amazing. So at what point did you realize that, Houston, we have a problem with the media?
2016. I was one of the ignorant ones. When Trump got elected and everybody turned on him. So I have a partner that's been telling me the media's been lying for years. And I used to tell her, I go, are you crazy? Why would they lie? They live here too. And I just never bought that story until Trump won. And then all of a sudden, I don't need to tell you, you live here too. I mean, you'd have to be a moron not to understand that they were lying to the American people and just manufacturing stuff and running with it. I mean, everything they did was completely fake. And the media is not supposed to have a bias. Okay, they're supposed to report who, what, when, where, why. That's it. But all of a sudden, they actually clearly took a side, and that's when I went, "Holy crap! What I'm doing is really important." And for the audience, we have a platform called yournews.com, and when you log in, your provider tells us where you live. So it's like the local paper in every city in America with USA Today wrapped around it, and it allows the public to interact and share in the narrative. Yours is open to Cheney, Kansas, but if you click that change your location, you can put in any zip code. We do local news and national news. And here's the interesting part, Dave. The legacy media has been laying people off in droves. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but on LinkedIn Navigator, there's almost 500,000 people now that call themselves freelance journalists. Now, if you don't know what that means, it means I don't have a job. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they're part of the downsizing of the legacy media. Certainly not all of them, but I bet you 80% are. I mean, I remember when that number was under 50,000 a decade ago. So it just keeps getting bigger. And then I talk to student journalists all the time on LinkedIn. There's 170,000 of them. Because in the last 6 months, I've picked up over 800 news reporters. As a matter of fact, this morning before we got on, I activated 3 new ones. One of them's from Greece, which is kind of cool. But most of them are U.S. based. We probably have a dozen of them that are other countries, but they provide world news. So it's really boots on the ground. I have a guy in Ireland that does boots on the ground stuff in Ireland and submits articles with photos right to our world news section. It's really cool.
Absolutely amazing. I want to go back to the legacy media when you said you first found out about that. You said I think you said your partner, somebody said, why? Why do you think they lied?
The only thing I could figure is because, we know now. It's because they were getting paid. USAID, okay? Everybody say, how can they lie about something like this? I mean, somebody must be paying them money to do this, because who on earth would ever do this? Well, when Trump got in office and the Doge team started, uncovering stuff, that's when you find out all the wasted fraud and where this money's actually going. And, the legacy media received billions of dollars. I mean, what is Politico? $37 million, really, for a freaking website? Okay. I mean, this is how much our tax dollars were going for this, but nobody ever reported this. And it was, I guess you could say it's brilliant. I mean, it's complete theft. I mean, it's money laundering at the highest level, but they were taking money, moving them into these things called NGOs because they can't do it themselves. And then the NGOs were making these investments. And it was basically our own tax dollars to put out the propaganda. That's the sickening part. Okay. So, this is when I just went, wow, we have a serious problem on our head. And, the legacy media, I mean, the reason we're in the mess we're in today, Dave, is because there's actually 6 institutions that control it. Now, I'm 60 years old. I mean, I remember back in the 80s, there was over 500 independent news outlets. And today, what we're experiencing is a centralized media where 6 people control the narrative. And I know you know what I'm talking about because you saw the Sinclair Broadcasting thing where you had 50 TV saying the same thing at the same time. Obviously, that was sent from corporate and they were just reading off a teleprompter. So the good news is none of them are going to survive. And what we do will ultimately completely decentralize the news business. And it'll actually democratize it, who gets to say it, because we put the power of the press in the hands of the people where it belongs.
Yeah, it's exactly where it's supposed to be. I was with Lara Logan this last weekend in California, and there's very few Lara Logans left. How do we get that type of reporting back, true reporting, whether you like it or not? Here's the facts.
Well, there's actually a lot more than you think. What happened was they were kicked off of YouTube and all the platforms, right? All the social media platforms. And want to know why? Because they were telling the truth. There's a lot more people that are telling the truth than you actually know. Laura Logan's a big name, okay? Just like Tucker Carlson. So it's going to be a little harder to get rid of those people. But there's a lot of people like that. And not for nothing, but the way our platform works is anybody could sign up to be a citizen journalist. On our website, at the bottom of the page, it says become a citizen journalist. Just like on YouTube, you could create your own channel and become a broadcaster. And I bet you any amount of money, Dave, 99.99999% of the people on YouTube never were in the broadcast journalist business. Agreed? Exactly. Almost nobody was. Okay, but the cream rises to the top. So we've all seen, YouTube or Rumble channels where the last posting was a couple of years ago. It's because the marketplace decides what kind of content they like. So in our case, our technology allows for independent people, somebody who's proactive in the community, could be a soccer mom or soccer dad, that decides, what? I go to all these city council meetings. I'm the only one here in my community. Why can't I report the news? And who would you trust more? The person that lives there or the person who wasn't even there that's reporting it?
Exactly. Especially now, after all we see. We looked at historical events over the weekend with Iran, and, even President Trump was talking about CNN and MSDNC being fake, and they're still not getting it. But as you said, they're starting to lay people off. What do you think the next phase is going to be? I don't see how they're going to survive.
I'm going to give you some numbers that I saw about a month and a half ago. This is going to shock you. Okay, so we're in the ad business like you're in the ad business. So there's demographics for advertisers in the age bracket between 25 and 54, which is the time when somebody, is getting a job, getting married, and then they're in consumption mode until they retire, right? And that's when you see all the pharmaceutical ads. But that age demographic, Adweek came out with the numbers on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox over 3 months, because the numbers were abysmal. But what do you think the viewership, which is 30% of the population, or about 130 million, what do you think the viewership was for that demographic for the networks watching cable news? Take a guess.
I don't know.
It was 500,000 people over 3 months. Okay, that's the problem. That's the real news, because the average age of people watching, or listening to radio, watching cable news is 70 plus, and nobody's following up behind them. There's your problem. They're on TikTok, Dave. They're on Instagram. They're on Rumble or whatever. It's somewhere else.
We'll take a quick break, and I'll be right back with Sam.
I'm Jonathan Rose, CEO of Genesis Gold Group. With the uncertainty facing our economy, it is more important than ever to safeguard your wealth and protect your retirement savings. As the national debt grows and the government continues to devalue your hard-earned savings, physical assets like gold and silver can provide stability, security, and peace of mind. Genesis Gold Group helps our clients transfer existing IRAs or other retirement accounts into physical gold and silver, tax and penalty-free. Now is the time to educate yourself on the importance of including gold and silver. Call now to receive our free wealth protection kit and digital dollar defense guide. Prepare yourself with what experts predict will be the most essential asset class of our lifetime. Call now and we'll include our extremely popular silver prepper bar free when you open your account. Add it to your IRA or have it sent to your home. Call Genesis Gold Group today at 800-200-GOLD, only available through Genesis Gold Group.
Introducing the His Glory app, your one-stop destination for all your news, updates, and spiritual nourishment. In a world of chaos, find clarity and inspiration with the His Glory app. Stay informed, deepen your faith, and discover purpose. The app is the best way to avoid chatbots and have the best experience. Join thousands who found enlightenment. Explore our diverse range of content that brings you closer to truth. Available on Apple TV, Roku, and more. Download today. His Glory, guiding you through every moment.
All right, we're back with Sam Anthony. We always have great discussions in the quick break. Why don't you touch on, Sam, what we were talking about in the break? My question to you, what I heard, pulling the pharmaceutical RFK Jr. What that's going to be doing to these fake news networks?
As we discussed, if he does this, and I just had a conversation with somebody that works directly with him. And this was part of the conversation. I said, is he going to be doing this? She goes, that's been part of the topic. And I said, well, is he allowed to do it without congressional approval? And she said, yes, he is. So it's on their to-do list. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now, you want to know why you see all the pharmaceutical ads, which represents 70% of the revenue coming in from all the network TV stations? It's because that's their audience. Remember, I just told you the 25 to 54 ain't watching. Okay, if you're 30 years old, why do you need pharmaceuticals? You don't, is the point. That's why you'll see, furniture stores advertising to them and other, just all different kinds, just not pharmaceuticals. But once you reach a certain age, that's when those pharmaceutical ads make a difference, right? That's the audience they're trying to market to. So if he pulls that, they're within a month, instant red, because that is the lifeblood of those networks right now, because their audience is all the older generation. Look, I'm 60. Okay. I mean, I grew up watching cable news just like everybody else did, but it's not about us. It's about what the younger generation is doing. I have a kid. He's 30. I have 2 grandkids. Do you know they don't even have a TV? Okay. Yeah. I said, how do the kids watch cartoons? And then he hands me a tablet, and you just click the apps for the cartoons. He goes, they watch them right here. I go, how the hell do you watch golf? They don't care. It's just a different world. So it's all changing. There's still a demand for news. It's just how people consume it that's changed. So what I do is I take an out-of-work news reporter anywhere in America. It could be your market, any market, right? And that person's not going to get a job. Want to know why? Because nobody's hiring. And They have a following. They produce a specific type of content. They could write about high school sports. They could write, local news like bank robbery, the car crash, the city council meeting. But they have a following. And those following, just like yours, Dave, people that follow you on social media trust you. People that watch your show trust you. So you have an audience of people. What they do is they come to my platform. They sign up to become a citizen journalist. We monetize that account. What they do is they write the story about whatever it is, the high school football game. We do video and audio too. So like this show could air on our network, okay, around all types of conservative content. And then once it gets published to the subject and geography, which it could be city, county, market, state, regional, or national, that content gets shared to their followers of their social media. And then their followers who like their content click the link to consume it on our site. We sell the ads and it drops off a percentage in their account, kind of like YouTube. This is simple, stupid, right? But here's the thing. When you're talking scalability, and this is why the newspapers can't do this, the Chicago Tribune, the Miami Herald, the New York Times, the Washington Post, these were all the 10,000-pound gorillas in their market. Well, If you know anything about the internet, local doesn't work. You need scale. Now, local works with scale, right? In my case, I have one website, but I can tell you who's reading my sports section in Schaumburg, Illinois, or Minot, North Dakota, so we could target specific. So from a scalability standpoint, however many ads the Chicago Tribune could put on their sports page, we can do in one zip code. You could target to one zip. So in scale, it's like having 70,000 different editions. Ads are on a best bid basis, so the local guys trump the national guys because the CPM rates are 10 times the money, but to them, they don't care because what's their bill going to be, $10 a month to target one zip code out of 100 in Chicago? Make sense? Yeah. And so from a scale standpoint, there's 20,000 cities, there's 3,300 counties. If I have 5 people a city, that's 100,000 news reporters. And you know as well as I do, New York's going to need 4 to 5 people. Do you really think that's all it's going to take? I'm guessing this model, look, I have writers that are active, that contribute daily. I have writers that contribute, every now and then, once a week, where some people do once a month. You get out of it what you put into it. The more content we bring in, the larger the audience grows. Dave, this is Facebook for news with, just different content. But the closest model to me is Facebook, not because we're in the same business, because they sell ads around user-generated content, and we do too. It's just completely different content. But here's what is news, and I'm sure you would agree. Somebody's Little League game is news to somebody, right?
Right.
Grandma and grandpa, friends and family, people that played in the community. So that news will be published in our sports section in that city. And the only people that are going to consume it, there may only be 10 or 20 people, but those people care, right?
Right.
Whereas there's going to be more people interested in the high school football game, which is sports news, but distribution is broader to what we call a market or a television DMA, designated market area. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, that could be 30 counties. In my market, it's like 4 or 5 counties. And so that content, there's more people interested in high school football than there is in one Little League game, because you see what I mean? So it draws
Exactly.
a bigger audience. But the key here, because the future of news is going to be a platform. It's not going to be X, even though X is a distribution. It's going to be a platform that allows citizen journalists the ability to be able to share news and information freely without censorship. But you could have a million of them simply because it's all these different topics. So I have some people that like to write about entertainment news, movie critics, local theater critics, people that like to go to restaurants and write restaurant reviews. And who follows them? The people interested in the restaurant reviews locally.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah. We were just talking about that when I was in California, why people, Siskel and Ebert, whether you like them or not, it's hard to find a good movie. So your organization could get experts to give you movie choices as well, right?
We get them all the time. So I have people that watch movies and they submit them, they give them a grade, A, B, C, C minus, B minus. I see them all the time with the actual clip of not the movie itself, but the trailer. Right? And they'll give it a full review, and we'll publish that stuff on a national level in our entertainment section. Unless you get 2 of them, then you could do one locally. But, you want to have at least one running nationally about a specific topic. So we have 4,000 non-monetized people. Those are people that are PR firms, nonprofits, things of that nature. And then currently we're a little over 800 news reporters. I told you I just picked up a guy from Greece. I sent him an email before just saying, look, you got to be able to write in English. And he responded in English saying, I have a degree in journalism and I have a degree in English. And here's something I've written, right? And I went, you're done, because he could start reporting news out of Greece, which goes in our world news section. Eventually, we'll end up opening this up in every country in the world.
Yeah, I remember General Flynn telling the world, but he told me this, I think it was 2020, that digital warriors were going to be the key going into this next few years. There it is.
I'm going to tell you right now, Dave, you guys are the mainstream media. You really are. Make no mistake about it. All I am is the aggregator of all you, bringing all that under one umbrella and creating one uniform media and the ability for you guys to actually make a living. This revenue model at full scale generates billions of quarters. And then we distribute that based on where the ads are seen. Make sense? Obviously, you're going to have some people that have bigger reach. Like later today, I'm going to be talking to somebody that writes about fashion. She wants to come on. She's got 1.7 million followers on TikTok. Okay. So when she posts a story, she's going to put on TikTok, guys, I just wrote my first article. Go check it out in the fashion section. Now, you could care less about fashion. I'm just making it up. Yours is going to be more faith-based or political or whatever, what have you. But that woman's going to bring us almost 2 million people. Wow. And some of those people are going to read or watch your videos if you're on my platform. You see what I mean? Yeah. Dave, I could have millions of her. It's irrelevant. She's just one.
So walk people through on how they can start using this content.
Well, from a reader standpoint, you go to yournews.com. It's very simple. When you log in, you'll see your city name at the top. If you're not in the proper city or it doesn't have it, just click change your location. You see that button, that green button that says change your location?
Yep.
It's a green one. If you click that, you enter a zip code, it'll take you to your city or that city. So all the national news will be the same. But if you wanted to read national news, you see the national news tab at the top. It says national news, local. You mouse over it and it gives you categories: sports, business, politics, entertainment. You could drill down and read golf. You could read auto racing. Hell, Dave, I have people that do straight auto racing news, daily news reporting in auto racing, Formula One in particular. Okay. So, And then I don't know if somebody could scroll down to the bottom, but we're at the bottom of the page. I don't know if you get down there or not, but that's where you have the tabs for like become a citizen journalist. If you could pull it down to the bottom, I don't know how fast you could go. There's a button down there that says become a citizen journalist. And then if you click that, there's an application, you fill out a couple videos. And if you like what you see, you fill out the application, we activate you, and you're a local news reporter. Look, you want to know, I told you before, we're in the mess we're in today because you have 6 institutions that control the legacy media. What we're doing is putting the power of the press back in the hands of the people. So I do have, and I don't know if Allison shared this with you, but we're doing something called an equity crowdfund where people could buy stock in this. We'll be in the next 18 to 24 months, we're actually going to be a publicly traded company. But there's a way people can make an investment through our equity crowdfund, but that's at the bottom of the page. So if somebody wanted to do something like that, they would click that, read about it. And if they like what they saw, they could spend $200 or anywhere in between.
I love that. Sam, we got about...
Yeah, I got it.
Go ahead. We got 18 seconds. Any closing thoughts?
Well, yeah. So all I'm getting at is we're not taking institutional money. That's my background, is raising capital. So we decided to do this through We the People. And so the people have funded this whole endeavor. And by the end of the year, I'll have probably 5,000.